first semi-final, a man you've just seen, a man able to defeat Pup. Man you'll all know and love versus, well, maybe not the underdog in all actuality. Maybe not whatsoever going into this tournament. Certainly the lesser known name, it is Rokky. Off the bat, Gaia strikes while the iron's hot. Oh, that's some bad turns of phrase right there. A quick frag. Good for the morale, good for the confidence. And equally so, the opposite for Rokky. C1's placing on this red, denied it. With confidence and pizzazz. This is the DP9 Shadowfalls 1-map cup. Every map you'll be seeing, as it says in the top right, Shadowfalls DP9 by def. Rokky is able to get on that red. Short-lived is the sweet taste of glory. Gaia, like Hades, a psychopomp, escorting his victims down to the Shadow Realm. The bitter end, as they shift off this mortal coil. Another red. Another spill. Perhaps not just yet. Not even on that yellow. Guy has gone for a ride. Good damage from Gaia. And his aim really sharp right now. Let's have a look at those stats. 63% on the bolt. 5 for 8. It's yet another. Gaia, who, especially versus Big Johnson, did look shaky. Coming out swinging versus the number 1 seed from Group A. He finally gets himself on the board. Well, I say finally, in terms of time, not been that long, but Gaia's made it all go very, very quickly. Rokky able to get himself in with that one as well. Well, it's actually Gaia committing suicide, but I think you get my point. It would take some real mental fortitude to come back from such a severe score deficit that quickly. Especially against a name like Gaia. I'm not too sure in the reflex scene it matters as much as it might in established competitive games. You know, the real sense of someone's name, someone's identity, someone's placing in the community. I imagine it's got a tiny effect. Rokky's just about managed to stay alive for 2 fights in a row. On death's door is he. Finally, he gives it a good old knock. I can't hear it anymore. That is weird. I'll let it off of that. Yeah, have that. I don't think you missed much. If you did, that's what you get for complaining. Over the OG pin. Looks for the rail, episode cheeky. Guy does play much like a cheeky chappy in my experience. Easy for Gaia. Rokky at this point is as limp and lifeless as a claymation of the already limp and lifeless Sylvester Stallone. That's not a good name to say with a lisp. Neither is the word say or lisp. Don't I look at it? At this point, the guy is just going through all the ways. He's visualizing all permutations of the next fight. All permutations of the mutilation he'll be performing on his subject, Rokky. How do you know I don't have cancer? You know what I say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and a guy called Ming. If Rokky really wanted to live out the underdog story, if he really wanted to emulate the films I hold so dear, then this wasn't a bad way of doing it. Losing 8 frags and then turning it on. See how much he's got left in the tank. His movement now picking up pace. His shots more accurate than they have been. I don't think this is entirely out of grasp whatsoever. There's still time. There's still room to do this. It's tough. It's a big ask. And you can't stumble. You really can't. One misstep there might, in retrospect when we get there, have been the death knell. And that evisceration from Gaia might have been the second. Red in hand, 50 as well. The Mega, we're looking at something close to a 200-200 stack. It will be an aggressive march, a constant offensive, it's what he needs, but that's a choke and a half right there, surely. Turns it back on. Oh, and a peek. A peek that Gaia will regret showing his face. So much damage. Rokky comes away from that red just about on an even kilter with his opponent. Now he's being goaded around that corner. Guy is lucky to get away as much as he has. There's the suicide. 11 to 5, 6 to make up. Not much time remaining, but maybe enough. And I do say maybe because this isn't easy. This isn't really possible in a lot of ways. On a practical level, at least. We've seen crazier comebacks before. And it would be just oh so fitting for a man called Rokky to come out versus the undisputed CPM champ 5 to make up 40 seconds. Not much health, not much to work with. There's the red, buffed away by this plasma. Every point of health matters at this point. He needs to jump on that 50, but it's Gaia's for the taking. Well, of course you want to move forward. You're against this clock as well as against that adversary, that oh so formidable adversary. It's not to be his day, though. It's not to be Rokky advancing. Gaia began with a clinical... What is the word? What would be the correct one? He began with an autopsy, really. He was the surgeon. And he took Rokky apart bit by bit. A bit of fire in his belly brought him close to something exciting.